Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Thursday, the 4th of July. To all of our American friends, happy Independence Day. I hope this is a good day for you, and if this is a long weekend, the beginning of a long weekend, then make the most of it. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what happens when you've been doing something for a long time and you get tired. Today, apparently, is my 1004th video. I'm not entirely sure where the other 1,000 went. But I've been doing this for a couple of years since COVID, and it began with simply two things. One was trying to figure out how to do video online presence for my church because I had to do church services, but also a daily check-in with my parishioners. I had a couple of churches in Wainwright and Edgerton in Alberta, and I was trying to figure out ways that I could make sure that we connected when we weren't allowed to connect in person. And then it sort of grew from there. And now we're up to well over 2,000 subscribers and about 100 of you who watch daily, which is really cool. And I'm very excited about doing this. It's a great ministry. I think it's a great ministry for me to share with you, but also it's a great ministry to me because it reminds me to stay humble. It reminds me to be honest. It reminds me that you got to be real. And sometimes being real, I talk about Feel Good Fridays and try to have up and happy things on Friday, which I will tomorrow because Friday I'm going to talk about yesterday. Yesterday I was at the camp, or I would have been. I'm recording this on Tuesday night because all day Wednesday I will be at the camp with the kids and not able to record this because I get home way too late. So this video that you're watching is for the day after I'm at the camp, and I will do a video on Thursday about my time at the camp. So Feel Good Friday will probably feel really good because I love being with the kids. But one of the things I've learned about doing this almost daily, because it was daily, except for those times when I was on vacation or since I've become a bishop and I've had to be away and unable to connect to the Wi-Fi, things like that, or have access to my computer. But almost daily for 3 or 4 years now, I have been doing these videos, and 99 times out of 100, it is a pure joy. It makes me laugh. It makes me smile. I get excited thinking about what I'm going to talk about. I love finding things to talk about because of viewers like you who leave comments. I enjoy commenting back and hitting like and hearting things. I do apologize, though. I haven't had time in the last while to really have the opportunity to sit down and to reply to comments and things like that, but it doesn't mean I don't read them. I'm just stinking busy with so many things, many of them that keep me on the road. But please know that I do read all your comments and I do appreciate them, even the ones that are a little bit snarky and the ones who still question whether or not I could be a priest. Because, yeah, I am. So there you go. Your comments don't take that away. But every once in a while, you sort of hit that wall where you're feeling like, I don't know. I don't know if I've got it in me to do this anymore. Do I really want to? And like I said, 99 times out of 100, it's easy. But there's that like 100th time, that one time it's like, is it really worth it? Now, I'm not asking you, is it really worth it for you to say to me, yes, of course, Rachel, don't stop, Bishop Rachel. This is great, Bishop Rachel. Anytime you want to stroke my ego, you're more than welcome. However, that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about those times when you really sort of say to yourself, really, I have to get out of bed and do this? I don't mean this video in particular, but just things. Some people, not everyone, I think everybody has a vocation. I've said that before. Not everybody has found it yet. And I still think that even if you're 99 and you're on your deathbed, you might still find your vocation. And if not, then maybe that's what God will have you do the first day in heaven. But for those people who have found their vocation in particular, or those people who are this close to finding it, and you know who you are, there are still days, even when you know you're called to do something, when you love what you do, even when you don't love what you do, when you just want to look that job in the eye and say, take this job and shove it. Remember the old Johnny Paycheck song? I think that was his name, aptly named. There are days when you just say, enough is enough. I don't have it in me to give anymore. And this week I hit that wall before I had to go to the camp, because the camp, I think, is probably what is keeping me going, because those kids, we stopped at the camp on Sunday on the way home from Swan River, And one of the little girls, Cody's little sister, Elsa, came flying over Bishop Rachel and threw her arms around me and hugged my legs. And then she went and hugged on Rob's legs. And it was the greatest feeling ever. And I know that when I get to the camp on Wednesday, that's going to happen only by 8 kids. And I get to spend the whole day with them and talk about Jesus and play in the water and play soccer and basketball and tetherball and just have fun with them, eat spaghetti laying on the floor, not allowed to use our hands. I hope to God we don't do that. But hey, you never know what happens at camp, right? But before I can get there, I realized that the day that I was recording this on Tuesday, I really hit a bit of a wall. I hit that moment where I just wanted to take people and give them a good shake and say, do you not understand what it is that God has called you to do? I get to work with incredible people. I get to work with people who have given their hearts and their lives over to Jesus, and they want to. And most of the time, they can. And then every once in a while, life gets them down. Life hits them hard, or somebody else does, and they're knocked on their proverbial butts. And they really need a hand to get back up. And I'm usually the one who has to give them that hand because, hey, I'm the boss, right? I'm the one who has to say to people, you got this. You can do this. You're brilliant. Even though it doesn't feel like it right now, you're exactly where God called you to be, and you have to share your gifts with others. And I've been doing that a lot lately. But I just had a rough patch this week where somebody else who should know that, someone who has given their life to God and has done good work, sort of just, it looked like they were just giving up, like they're just ready to quit. And the truth is, I don't think they are. I think deep down, maybe scaled over or calloused over, there is a heart filled with love for Jesus, a heart that has a desire to serve other people, but a heart that's been broken, a heart that's been stomped on a few times, some jadedness that comes when you live your life and you watch as things don't always turn out okay. And a bunch of things just happened that I watched the politics. If you watched on yesterday, you'll know that I had a sort of a morning on Tuesday when I saw a flag being flown upside down, and that caused me great distress and frustration and indeed anger. And then to see someone else who's sort of wearing their heart upside down as well made me want to shake them, made me want to say to them, get over yourself. This is not about you. And that's a tough place to be, because sometimes it is about you. Sometimes it's about needing to just curl up in the corner and suck your thumb. Sometimes it's just about being able to feel safe, that you can strike out at others and trust they're not going to strike back. Sometimes we all just need to have that 1 in 100 days when we realize that even though we're called, even though we have a vocation, even though the rest of life is beautiful, one little part of it completely sucks. And when that happens, maybe we just need to be honest with ourselves, not kick ourselves. How many of you out there are perfectionists? How many of you out there are like me? This is, it's okay for others. I can tell others it's okay for you to have a bad day. And I can be there for you and I can help you pick up your pieces. But it's not okay for me because, hey, I'm super priest or I'm super mom or super dad or super babysitter or whatever it is you do. And that's lying to yourself. We all do it. We all have our moments when we think to ourselves, I can do anything. And then when we can't, we're so disappointed, even more disappointed than when someone we love disappoints us. Self-disappointment is probably the hardest one to take. But the reality is we all do it. We all have those moments, whether it's 1 in 100 or 99 in 100. We all have those moments when we look in the mirror and say, I'm just not worth it. Or we listen to other people saying we're not worth it and we begin to believe them. And the fact is that that's not true. 100 times out of 100, 1,000 times out of 1,000, 1,003 times out of 1,003 times, God loves you. Every single time God looks at you, God sees someone who is completely worthy of love. God sees someone who doesn't have to be perfect because God didn't create us to be perfect in the first place. God allowed us to have humility. God asked us to be honest with ourselves. And we need to be able to do that, to be able to look in the mirror and say, I don't like what I do right now. I don't like who I am, or I don't like who others are to me right now. And once we've accepted that, once we've sort of realized it's okay to have a bad day, then we can start to make our day better. Or if it's a bad week or a bad month or a bad year, then we can acknowledge it and say to God, I need your help. I'm having a bad time and I need other people to help me. I need some circumstances to change. I hope for your sake that your bad days are just that, a bad day. Like I know my Tuesday was a bad day, but my Wednesday was phenomenal. My Thursday will be great. And my today, well, it's feel good Friday. Tomorrow will be a good feel good Friday. It'll be awesome, right? But every once in a while, you got to have that crappy Tuesday. You got to have that moment when it feels like everybody's ganging up on you. They're not really, but it feels like that. And you know you just have to go with it. Sometimes it's okay to admit you don't have it all together. When you can, it's a good time to reach out to somebody else and say, hey, if you've got it all together, can you lend me some? And if they don't, maybe you can just have a bad day together. Sit, drink one of those fancy Starbucks mochaccino, low fat, high cholesterol, oat, oat, what is oat milk, by the way? All one of those fancy drinks that cost you $12 and you drink it and you think, what the heck was that about? And then you can look back and laugh at how ridiculous you've been. Every once in a while, it's okay to have that day. And if your every once in a while is being more often than usual, that's okay too. Cut yourself some slack. It's okay, even when you know who you're called to be and what you're called to do, to feel like maybe you aren't doing it well enough. Because tomorrow will be a better day. Have a great day. God bless. And tomorrow I will regale you with stories about how awesome the camp is and how amazing the juniors are. 8 to 10-year-olds all day long. I'll be exhausted. Have a great day. God bless. And I'll see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel on Feel Good Friday.